Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to do the Black History Month book tag. So I can just about squeeze this book tag in because it's the 22nd of February when I'm filming this. So it's just crazy that this month has already passed almost. It's already the end. I am happy though that it's going fast and we're moving out of winter. I think yesterday was one of the first days when we had plus 10 degrees and it was just amazing, even though I spent it all inside. Anyway, I'm really happy that it's getting warmer and lighter and we can look forward to spring because there's not much else to look forward to. Lockdown and such happening, so spring, happy for spring. But also I want to do this tag because we're in Black History Month and I'm participating. I'm doing Seji's Black Lit Challenge, so I'm reading different books throughout the month. I've seen this tag on Shawn the Book Maniac's channel, but I also follow the creator of this tag, which is Helene from Book by Leynes. I really love her channel. She does these really engaging, really interesting commentary videos and interesting book reviews focused on Black authors. I really love following her and watching her content. So question number one, what is a book everyone should be reading during Black History Month? Give one fiction and one non-fiction title. And here for fiction, I want to mention an author because I've read two of this author's books already. I have a third one on my TBR. I'm planning to read their backlist and I'm planning to read everything they come out with. So basically, you can say one of my favorite authors. And that author is the Jacqueline Woodson. And one of the books I read last by Jacqueline Woodson is Harbor Me, which is a middle grade. It's about a group of kids who go to the same school and they come together every week in this special classroom for 1 hour to get to know each other, discuss their issues. It's almost some sort of like a therapy, but they're all together. There's no adults present, so they can get to know each other. They can become comfortable with each other to discuss themselves, their issues, their backgrounds, and just just get through things a bit more easier because they're talking about it with other people. Maybe it's because it's hard for them to talk about these issues otherwise. So it's so beautiful the way Jacqueline Woodson describes these kids and the issues they're facing and so on and so forth, and they come from different backgrounds. So you should definitely pick this up. Jacqueline Woodson's writing is so beautiful, poetic, lyrical, and all of her books are kind of short, so it's really easy to get through. So if you haven't picked up any of her books, I think it's perfect to do so now. I also read another Brooklyn by her, which was also a great one. It's about following a couple of girls and how it's discussing how it is to grow up in Brooklyn as a woman, as a girl. And the one I have on my TBR and I've been meaning to read forever and ever, I feel like, but I never get to it. Apparently, I will sooner than later, but it is Red at the Bone. And I think this is about a teen pregnancy and what happens to both of these families that come together because of this. And the nonfiction title is Afropean Notes from Black Europe by Johny Pitts. And I wanted to mention this one because I think when it comes to literature about the Black experience or just by Black authors, there's just so much focus on US, which is of course normal. But I feel like me being from Europe, being from Denmark, I feel like we need to pick up, or I feel like I need to pick up books by Black authors also which are Europe based. So maybe I'm gonna look into more books from Africa. I've been reading some books from Nigeria, I think, some fiction books, but I want to look a bit more broadly at the continent, both African and both Europe, and see if there's some more books I want to pick up. So when I heard about this one, I was really intrigued because the author is a journalist from Britain and he goes and visits different cities in Europe where he visits the Black community and describes how they live, gives their background, and also what are the local governments doing to better their conditions. And it's just a bit sad that most of these communities there he's visiting are really on the outskirts of towns, and they're really labeled as ghettos. So I think if you haven't picked up anything like this before, and you're interested also in learning about how the Black communities live in different parts of Europe, different bigger cities, then I think giving this one a go would be a great one. I listened to it and the author narrates it, so it's a good one. So question number 2 is, which Black booktuber would you recommend watching and why? And of course, apart from the creator of this tag, for the already mentioned reasons, I also watch, for example, mynameismarines, and I really love her videos in which she reads, she talks about the books she read, which she really ended up hating. So these really critical book reviews of very, very popular books. So I think that's how I found her channel some years ago. I really love, for example, the video she put out of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, because I DNF'd that book. So when I watched that review, and I was like, yes, this is why I was right for DNFing that book. But also she makes so many other book reviews, and she recently, I think, she moved house, and there's a whole series about which books she's unhauling and so on and so forth. So, and she has this very beautiful bookshelf. Yeah, rainbow bookshelves. Who doesn't like them? Another booktuber I follow is Seji from the Artizan Geek. I really love her channel. She does so different videos. She's not just doing bookish content. She's just having these fun, easy, very short videos every once in a while, and they just feel so refreshing. I love her channel also because she loves reading classics, and she reads and she finds these, what it feels like, obscure classics no one hears about or we don't read anymore. So yeah, I think mainly these are the booktubers, the Black booktubers I follow, and I watch their content on a regular basis. These are mostly like bigger booktubers at the moment. So if you have any smaller ones that you could recommend me, please do so. I would really love to check some more out. Question number 3. What is your favorite book written by a Black author from an African country? I think here I wanted first to talk about Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's books, because I read all of them, and my favorite is of course Americanah, which is about a couple from Nigeria who get separated and then they both emigrate. The man emigrates to the UK and the woman emigrates to the US. And it's about their lives and how they still keep in touch and how different their experiences are, and how their lives turn out afterwards. And it's just such an amazing book. I mean, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is really a popular author now, and I hope she comes out with something soon though, because as I said, I read all of them. But one that really stuck with me ever since I read it, which was like 4 years ago now, so it's quite a while, is Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. And this one stuck with me because I really did not see coming what was happening in that book. It's about this marriage, what happens in that marriage because of external factors like society expectations, and they're unable to have a child and all that comes with that, and the pressure the family of the husband is putting on them for him to take another wife, because that's, I guess, is permitted there, and how that was against what they themselves wanted as a couple, or want as a couple, but how like he's forced to do so just so they could have children, because for some reason they can't. And they were just so beautiful, the way it all came together, the characters, the whole situation, the plot, and it's like the way I didn't see coming what happened there. So it was a bit shocking, and but maybe not just shocking, but really, really unexpected. And it was just beautifully written. I've seen several reviews of it on BookTube, and I think everyone who has read it really loved it and really recommends it, so I can only do so as well. Question number 4, what is my favorite Black classic? And I cannot say that I've read so many Black classics yet. I think I read a lot of contemporary books by Black authors, but I have one which I think is a classic, The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I feel like this isn't such an old one, but it feels like a classic, a modern classic. I don't know, when was this published? Let me see. This was published in 1983. Yeah, it can be considered a classic. Oh wait, it says on the back, The Color Purple is a classic. There you go. So I think this one is a must, and a lot of people know about it, so I don't want to mention too much. I don't want to talk about it too much. But it says here, set in the deep American South between the wars, it is the tale of Celie, a young black girl born into poverty and segregation. Raped repeatedly by the man she calls father, she has 2 children taken away from her, separated from her beloved sister Nettie, and is trapped into an ugly marriage. But then she meets the glamorous Shug Avery, singer and magic maker, a woman who has taken charge of her own destiny. Gradually, Celie discovers the power and joy of her own spirit, freeing her from her past and reuniting her with those she loves. Of course, this is a heartbreaking story, but it's so beautiful, and I think it's a must read. And I'm sorry I read the back. This is one of those I read really a long time ago, probably like 2016, 17, before I read Stay With Me. So I don't remember much about it. Maybe it's time for a reread or just watch the movie. Next question, which movie, book to movie adaptation, documentary would you recommend watching during Black History Month? I read this non-fiction book, Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson a few years ago. And it is about the prison system in US and how discriminatory and racist it is, and unjust. I think that's the key word here, unjust. And now it's been made into a movie, a Netflix adaptation, so it's available basically for everyone to watch. And I've been meaning to watch it. I've only postponed it because I remember how heartbreaking that story is. So basically, Bryan Stevenson is a lawyer, and he's working on helping Black people who are on death row and wrongly accused and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's a hard one, but I think it's a must read, and it's also, I guess, more easily digestible now with the Netflix adaptation. So go watch that if you haven't done so already. The next question, if my phone will cooperate, is what's on your TBR for Black History Month? Now, I have made a video about it, so I'm gonna link it for you everywhere where I can link it. But out of that list that I think I have 4 books on it. I haven't gotten to Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and this is one I'm most excited about. It's also quite a nice short one. What's with me and short books for this video? I normally really have chunksters that I'm showing you, but these are so nice and short ones. I love these. It's easy to get to on the shortest month of the year. So I'm looking forward to that one, but I'm also gonna link my video about my TBR. So an easy one to answer. Question number 6, was it? And then the last question is, which new releases by Black writers are you looking forward to the most this year? And I'm normally not one to follow new releases as much, especially because one of my resolutions somehow was that I don't want to read so many new books. I want to focus maybe on my classics. I want to focus on books that I have on my TBR, on my shelves, because I have many. But I still have one, and that is How Beautiful We Were by Imbolo and Mbue. Sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I really love that cover. I think it's beautiful. But also the premise sounds really interesting. Imbolo and Mbue is a New York Times bestselling author. I haven't heard about this author before, but I'm definitely gonna check out her other books as well. But why I found this book particularly interesting, because it is set in a fictional African village, and it is about the life of the people in this village and how it is affected when an American oil company kind of destroys their environment. So yeah, I think it's one worth checking out, and also a great one because this year I'm also trying to focus on reading less books from the US and the UK, and this author is from Cameroon, so only plus points, only plus points. So I guess this is it. My apologies if this video was more rambly than usual. I tried to keep it nice and short, but I feel like I'm just in a rambling sort of a mood today. So I hope you got something out of it anyway. And yeah, let me know what are the books you have focused on this month, if you have focused on books by Black authors, or let me know which is one of the books by Black authors which you're most excited to get to. Thank you very much for watching today, and I guess I will see you next time. Goodbye.